Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into my official NFL week number 14 potential upset alert predictions here, where I go over a few teams that could be on upset alert. We're also looking at my top 3 parlays as well as the smart money. I do this video every week, every Friday, so let's get into it. Starting with the Detroit Lions traveling to Chicago. We saw this game last time. Chicago was +6. They covered it very easily. I was in on them because of Justin Fields returning, and I am in on them again. There is kind of a rumor going around that we might see Justin Fields traded at the end of the season. I think that would be a big mistake for Chicago, but I can't understand it because Justin Fields does have a terrible career record. This is a game I do like Chicago. If Fields had started every game this year, I think they're a 6-6 football team, not a 4-8 team. And you're talking about the Lions with a severe defensive problem. They were up huge on New Orleans. They let them come right back into the game. They had the terrible Thanksgiving afternoon performance. I like the value on Chicago plus the 3, and I also do like the over as long as the weather is nice. You know, when you're talking about a bet like this, you get later into the season, it is important to take a look at the weather. As long as it's in, the 30s or the 40s, everything should be fine as long as there's no rain or snow. When you start getting into the lower 20s, the teens, that's when it becomes a problem, and especially if there is any precipitation. But it is important if you are planning on making a bet in a game like this involving, a cold weather team hosting, that's not a dome, you're going to want to look at the weather for that one. This is a dome, so there's going to be no weather problem here. It is Carolina traveling to New Orleans. This line has gone down to 4.5. A lot of people in on Carolina. I do not think they win this game, but it's just a beautiful setup. I've really liked the Panthers the past few weeks. They were basically free money last week, sitting +5.5 against Tampa Bay on the road. They easily cover that. They didn't even play that well, and they still covered it. Carolina has no incentive to lose this game. I understand New Orleans is still trying for a wild card spot. They're at 5-7. They're basically already out of it. And last week, New Orleans, the defense was horrible early in that game. They did come back, but they still couldn't cover that home spread against Detroit. There's another home spread I do not think they'll be able to cover. The value has kind of gone down. Now that's down to 4.5, but still I would take Carolina to cover that 4.5 point spread. They're trying to develop Bryce Young. There is no incentive for them to lose these games. There is a huge incentive on getting Bryce Young another victory, some confidence, 2 or 3 passing touchdowns, galvanizing. They fired their head coach. They're going to galvanize around the interim, and they're going to keep this game close in New Orleans. Next, you do have Indianapolis traveling to Cincinnati. So someone did say this on my stream, was it last night or the night before? They were like, did you make your predictions or did you pre-record your prediction video this week before Monday Night Football? And I did. So I literally recorded it during Monday Night Football, and I was thinking, okay, Jacksonville facing Cincinnati, it's not going to be an issue as long as Trevor Lawrence doesn't get hurt and as long as Jacksonville doesn't lose. They were 10-point home favorites against Browning, and Trevor Lawrence ends up getting hurt and they lose. So both things happened, but you know what I still do? I'm still going to call my shot on this game ending in a tie. I understand Jake Browning did look good on Monday night, but it was just 1 week. He's still a backup quarterback. Indianapolis is the type of team that'll keep a game close. This spread has probably changed a little bit from Indy -2.5. But still, I'm feeling a tie here. Both of these teams very evenly matched. We're going to get a tie, you would think, at some point this year. We will see. Moving on to another potential upset. So this is an official upset prediction here for me. I do think the Raiders will beat Minnesota at home, sitting +3, even with Justin Jefferson back. You do have Jordan Addison. Josh Dobbs, the Cinderella run is over. The Raiders at home, they've got good defensive talent. They've got Josh Jacobs. They've got AOC, the young quarterback from Purdue. Not political. I think they win this game 26-23. They've played well at home under their interim head coach outside of that Kansas City game. And even in that game, they were up 14-3. The Chiefs just really blew them out in the second half. So I do like the Raiders at home plus the 3 there. Moving on to the Sunday night matchup. This is a heavyweight battle. It is the Eagles traveling to Dallas, and I do not think this game's going to be an upset. I do like the Cowboys to win this game. It would be really nice if this line moved to -3 rather than -3.5. That's a tough line to bet on the Cowboys. The Eagles, however, I mean, you can understand why the line is like that. The Eagles got trounced last week, and the Cowboys are playing really well. Although the defense for the Cowboys, not great, last Thursday night against Seattle. We will see if it's improved. Philadelphia, they're going to be very motivated coming off that bad performance. I do like Dallas. I would really like them -3. 3.5 is a little bit tougher. I love them on the money line, though, just to win the game outright, and that's going to lead into some of our parlays here and how I'm going to utilize that. So this first parlay, I do like the Browns to win against the Jaguars, kind of betting against Trevor Lawrence playing in that one. The Browns, they've struggled the past 2 weeks, but both of their losses were very close late, and then they got blown out in the fourth quarter. Also, Joe Flacco looked decent enough. I will take the Browns to beat a banged-up Jacksonville team. You do have Jacksonville traveling into cold weather. Also, I do like the over in the Lions-Bears game as long as the weather is nice, 42.5. It seems like a good number to go in on the over. The Lions can score. The Bears with Justin Fields, they've been able to score recently on offense. I actually, you know what? They did only score 12 points on that Monday night game against Minnesota, but I think they're due for an offensive breakout. These two teams played a few weeks ago. It was a higher scoring game. Next, I am taking Atlanta just on the money line versus Tampa Bay. There's just no reason, really, there's no reason for either of these teams to win. They need quarterbacks, but I don't know, man. I've been fading Tampa Bay recently. That's a team that I think is going to crater towards the end of the year, and I've got Atlanta winning that game relatively easily. They are only like 2-point favorites. Next, I do have, this is the primetime parlay. Here's the primetime parlay. This is one of the Monday night games because there's 2 Monday night games this week. Green Bay on the money line at the Giants. The Giants, they got to lose these games. They're sitting at 4-8. I don't know what they're doing winning. The Packers, on the other hand, sitting at 6-6, trying to develop Jordan Love. I like them to win that game outright. Probably a low-scoring crap game, but I will take them. I will also take the Cowboys to win on the money line against the Eagles. I already talked about that. And then also the Miami Dolphins. I do think they cover a pretty crazy spread, -13.5 against Tennessee. Miami, they've been able to cover some crazy spreads at home. That's just another one. You're facing a rookie quarterback. I would expect them to cover that one there. And then this is a 14 parlay. It involves the Chargers covering a 2.5-point spread. I've been fading the Broncos the past few weeks. I'm going to continue doing that. I still think there's more losses to come for Denver. They're going to come back down to earth. I also do have Seattle plus the 10.5, kind of a random game. I just think 10.5 is too much. Seattle played well on the road in Dallas. They lost, but they scored 35 points. Everyone's really high on San Francisco. The number is juiced because they just destroyed Philadelphia, and Seattle might get a backdoor cover in that game. Also, I'm taking the Raiders. Oh, I don't know why I didn't have in my upset predictions the Bills. But yeah, so another upset that I like, just saying this, the Raiders obviously, and I also do like the Bills. I guess it's technically not really an upset now. It's basically a pick'em game. That spread has gone down. It was at 3. I think it's 1.5 right now. Bills are only plus 105, but I love the Bills to win that game outright in Kansas City. Technically, you could argue it's an upset. I mean, I would think it's an upset just based upon the narrative surrounding the Bills right now, but either way, I do have them winning as well. And then just looking at some of the smart money, looks like a lot of money coming in on Atlanta. That doesn't surprise me at all. That seems like a very small spread. I understand Atlanta's not very good, but Tampa Bay just, I don't know. The over, 97% of the money coming in on the over 41. I don't have a strong opinion on that. You do have Houston and the Jets. A lot of money coming in on Houston. Is CJ Stroud hurt or something? How is that line down to 3.5? It's crazy to me. And then a ton of money coming in on the under 33. That is a very low over-under. And you do have a dome team traveling into a tough environment, cold environment. The Jets have been involved in so many low-scoring games. You can understand it. You do have the Lions, Bears, a lot of money, or a decent amount of money coming in on Chicago plus the 3.5. And then the under 43, I would disagree with that unless the weather is affecting people betting the under in that one. You do have the Panthers and Saints. More people definitely in on Carolina. Yes, I agree with that. The over-under at 37.5. I like the over in that. Wow. That seems like a low number for a dome game. I guess you're dealing with Bryce Young. He's a rookie. They haven't been scoring a lot, but it seems like he's been playing better recently. Indianapolis, Cincinnati, more money coming in. Cincinnati is now -1. More money coming in on Cincinnati after that good Monday night showing. The over-under at 44 there. You do have Jacksonville and Cleveland. A lot of money coming in on the Browns with the injuries to the Jaguars. And a ton of money coming in on the under 30.5. It is understandable. It is understandable there. And then you do have the Rams and the Ravens. I love the Ravens to win this game easily. They were -7. Now they're -7.5. This is a horrible spot for the Rams. Traveling West Coast to East Coast, cold environment, facing a team coming off a bye. Yeah, and then the over 40 I like as well. And then you do have the Seahawks and the 49ers. More money coming in on Seattle. I would agree with that. And then people like the under 46.5. I really don't have an opinion on that one. The Vikings, Raiders. A lot of money coming in on Vegas. I agree with that. A lot of people like the under. I would probably say over 40.5, but I don't have a strong opinion. You do have the Broncos, Chargers, a lot of money coming in on Denver. I disagree. And then you also, another interesting thing with the Chargers, they're finally going to Joshua Kelly, who I think is actually a pretty good running back. Austin Eckler is just not a running back. He's a scat back. I don't know why they're using him as a running back at this point. He's a third down pass catching back. That's all he is. I think they're switching to Josh Kelly, who's at least decent running the ball between the tackles on 3rd and 4th and short. He's a bigger running back. A lot of money coming in on the the under 44 in that one. You do also have the Bills, Chiefs. More money coming in on the Chiefs. Wow. Seems like it's flipped a little bit. Maybe people find value now that it's down to 1.5. And then the Eagles, Cowboys. Money slightly coming in on the Eagles more. And you do have an over-under juiced up to 51.5 there. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on X. Link to that's always in the description.